Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek, and we're going to be discussing Class 15 inhibitors of chitin biosynthesis on this edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. This edition of the Pest Geek Podcast is brought to you by Pest Routes. Pest Routes, supercharge your company with Pest Routes, the #1 pest control software to help you dominate your goals. Visit them at pestroutes.com and get your free demo.
Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek Podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek Podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. I am Frank Hernandez, your Pest Geek, here discussing all things pest. We want to remind our audience to join in on the revolution. That's right, join in on the conversation, be part of the society. Pest Geek Podcast Listeners Group on Facebook. And we're on YouTube, we're on the web, pestgeekpodcast.com. Check out there the notes, everything that we put into the podcast. They're all on there. And now for today's topic. Now, what is chitin inhibition? Well, it is we use a product what is known as a chitin inhibitor, which is an insect growth regulator, also known as an IGR. Now, what is chitin? Well, chitin is actually an amino sugar that is used by insects as an element for building that exoskeleton. It's basically a cellulose sugar product that they make is that crunchy exoskeleton that they have in different colors. And what happens is it's produced through what is known as biosynthesis. It is the coming together or mixing of different elements to create a product. And that's what happens with the exoskeleton. It is a hormonal product that happens in their body to create those exoskeletons. So they're born sometimes without an exoskeleton. Sometimes they go through a molting process and they change exoskeletons, but they don't have bones, so they have to create this product. And what the IGR does is it inhibits the ability for them to make an exoskeleton. So a product like Nuvaleron aids in that inhibition. And what it also does, it causes the damage in the larval stage when they're young, but it also causes damage in the egg stage, and especially like in roaches or mosquitoes where it damages the larvae. Now, chitin metabolism in insect through a product like Nuvaleron works mostly by ingestion. It does have some contact capabilities, but mostly it is through ingestion. So using a class 15 chitin inhibitor will aid in pest control because it is part of a long-term strategy in every IPM program. So what it does is it could damage the wings of the insect, it could damage part of the antenna, it could damage an eye in the molting process, and then they don't grow up to be reproductive adults. So usually it dies in infancy. And the advantage of using an IGR, it is considered a low-risk, low-impact product because it is a synthetic hormone that mimics the one they would naturally lose, and it keeps it active in the area. Remember that insects have to lose hormone in order to grow. By keeping it present, it constantly is in the area, and therefore it controls usually all stages of growth in an insect.
We hope you have enjoyed this edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. Until next time, have a pestacular day.
Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.